I want to punch Jared in the face, but he is all the way over. No, you were all the way over there. You're supposed to be all the way over there.
I'm right here now.
Yeah. The jab. Are you having trouble landing your jab? Like a lot of people, I think, have trouble because they think like, oh God, he's that guy. How am I going to go jab? All right, we're going to talk a little bit about how to actually get in a little closer, actually land your jab, put your jab on him, and show you maybe some sneaky tricks on how to cheat the distance on your jab. One big, huge issue right off the bat, I can help you immensely, and I think Jared would concur. People tend to be too attached to the idea that like if I throw a punch at all, that I gotta get you, right? When your coach is yelling to jab and work the jab, he just means just put it out there. Not every jab has to land. So sometimes when you're at this range, you can just even attack the guard and the gloves, just touch them, just to read reactions, just do that. Like they don't have to land. Concur?
I concur.
Yeah, just punch more.
Mm-hmm.
They might run into it.
Yeah, and then what's the jab for? The jab is to set up a power punch. The jab is to
find reactions, check your range, you know.
Change the angle.
Yeah, disguise your movement.
Right.
Speaking of, Jared Robinson has a super sneaky way to close the distance on the jab without ever seeing it.
One of the things I do, if I'm outside, I like to show my opponent I'm outside.
Right.
So he feels safe and feels comfortable, maybe lowers his guard, feels...
Right, I'm not worried about this at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
So then what I do is I start kind of grinding up my hands like I'm about to do something. I'm slowly, just back right foot. I'm just bringing it in, drawing it in as I'm disguising what's going on up top. And that puts me in a half distance of where I was. And I step forward with the jab.
It didn't look like you moved nearly this amount.
Yeah.
So if we're this far away, and I just step, you know that range.
Right.
Right? And then if I see that back foot move, then I know that. But you were able to do both at the same time. And maybe if you just done one, I would have felt like I was safe.
Right.
But that movement, so you're just disguising the movement with sort of like showmanship.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Head movement, kind of just like bring that shoulder forward.
It is hypnotizing. It's like like the snake charmers move their head to get the snake going like this. I'm not thinking about it.
Right.
Or you could probably also like punch, right? You throw punches there.
Throw a rear jab.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then while I'm looking at the hands. So if you get their eyes on your gloves or on your face or on your head or worried about something other than your feet, that movement will be, imperceptible, be harder for them to read.
For sure.
And I think that's sort of one of the little hallmarks when you're moving from beginner to intermediate. Is when you can intentionally put your feet in places and do it on like you're doing it on purpose.
Right.
I'm not just like over here.
Right.
And then I just to get over here.
Right.
Like how do I get there? So I have to actually construct a method, right? Whether I'm moving like this and then get this foot up and then you're there. Dude, that's so good. That's so good. But let's break it down and let Jared demonstrate it like very clinically so that you can institute this in sparring right away. And then I have one that's sort of similar.
Okay.
I want to see what you think about it.
I want to check it out. I'm here in stance.
And this would be like a pre-exchange range. Like us this far apart.
Absolutely.
You feel pretty safe.
Yep. I already know my head. I don't have to do this, but just kind of showing if I step and jab,
that's as far as it
still
can go.
not there. That's my limit right there. If I keep my feet where they are. And so what I'm doing is slide. I'm not stepping into place.
You're sort of
I'm just pulling. I'm like pulling my foot under
sort
me.
Of like doing like what's that? The thing the kids do?
Yeah. I'm kind of like moonwalking my foot into a position. So yeah, I'm kind of just sliding my foot, just inching my foot along the canvas, along the wherever you are, the mat. And then I'm getting to that new point, and I know from there, just based off of my depth perception, that I don't have to slide up anymore. I don't have to over exaggerate it. I put it where I can. I put it where I can still step and jab, and I know.
It's brilliant.
It is.
It's brilliant. And just disguising a step, that's where I was at. I was sort of at a little lower level of skill with this principle of just disguising the step with punches. But the idea of doing of working it up there and it's disguising it with your movement, with your punches and stuff like that, and then you've covered so much distance. And what's the distance that I think people overestimate how much distance you really need to cover. One thing that I often say is like, if we both had a guard up and I could touch your gloves, right? You're close enough. You can make some stuff happen. And dudes will let you get close enough. There's lots of exchanges.
And feel safe.
And feel safe, right? And there's not a big difference between that right there. That's huge. Which brings me to mine. This is sort of theoretical. It's just something I started doing in sparring. It's just working for me. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's bullshit. Maybe you can help me. So because I'm scrubby, this is not about footwork at all. No footwork, zero footwork, super square, boom, like a tank. I prefer short range exchanges for obvious reasons. So people are often bigger than me, and they'll often let me get closer than I think they should, than is wise. They should just have me all the way out all the time. But people will, if you draw people in, for you MMA guys, it's similar to when you throw a head kick. The other guy always want to throw a head kick back. So sometimes dudes with me, I'll want to infight, and they'll be like, yeah, I'll do that too, which is stupid.
Not where you should be.
So people will let me get inordinately close. And what I've been doing is, do you remember the Looney Tunes cartoon where the guy drew the line so he knew where the dog was on the chain? And then the dog erased the line and then drew the line further back so the guy felt safer? I will, instead of this, I will jab like this. I will jab like this, like this, like this, and I'll throw them hard. I'll throw them with intention, so as they're parrying or blocking, whatever, they feel that. I'm throwing it hard. I'll move, and I'll jab like this, and this is all I'm doing. I'm not even turning. And then I'll go, and like really put it in there further than they think, and I call it the dog chain, because I'm subverting their expectation. I've shown them this is as far as my punch goes. So instead of, you think that's legit?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So instead of like sneaking an extension of reach, I'm lying about my reach and making them feel even more comfortable being closer.
For sure.
And to me, it only works if I've thrown jabs infrequently, but when I throw them hard. Like, and I'm using a little bit of arm, because I want them to feel like, oh, he's got. So and when you square up, you do hit a little harder with your lead hand. You throw like a lead straight instead of a jab. So I'm shortening up this reach, and they're like, oh, this guy can't box. You know what I mean? And then extending it, and it goes always a little further. That's just what's worked for me.
That's dope. I mean, that just takes it up the chain. Doing the same thing, but just where else can you find more? So just it's all about lying. It is. It's like a poker game. Like, you don't want to tell the guy what you have. When you're weak, you should appear strong. When you're strong, you should appear weak. That's a quote from me. I'm very famous for saying that. Make sure you go subscribe to Jared. I'll put links down in the description below to his YouTube and his Instagram. He makes the hardest sport easy. One of the best boxing coaches I've ever worked. I'd say the best boxing coach I've ever worked with. He can break things down for the beginner and also really expound on topics that are like much, much more deeper and complex for if you're an advanced boxer. Make sure you go click those links down in the description below. And then I'm probably put some kind of outro here.